It's another Getting Real with Ashleydawn. I'm Ashleydawn, and I want to talk to you about the shallow end. And you say, what are you talking about? Well, have you ever been in a pool and you have just been at the shallow end, right? Maybe you dipped your toes in, maybe you're just kind of chilling at the shallow end. You know, maybe get in like ankle deep or maybe knee deep, but that's as far as you go. Your body isn't really gonna cool off because your body is not submerged in the water. So if it's, hot outside, your feet are going to be cool, but the rest of your body isn't. You're only kind of halfway in there. It's kind of like it's just a little bit, right? How many of us have shallow end relationships in that we don't go to the deep end? We don't fully submerge ourselves in a relationship or a friendship. We kind of just keep people at an arm's length, keep them kind of over there. Hey, how are you? Oh, nice to see you. But we don't let them in on our junk. We don't let them in. We don't let them know what we're going through, how we're dealing with things. If we're going through maybe a struggle or maybe a storm, we kind of just, oh, I'm great. How are you? Oh, you're good. How are your kids? Oh, they're good. But they don't know what's really going on. This is shallow end. The shallow end doesn't cool our body off. It doesn't refresh us. It maybe gets our toes a little wet, but we can't say that we went swimming if we just stood in the shallow end or sat in the shallow end. To say we went swimming, we have to fully submerge ourselves into the water. We have to go to the deep end. To fully cool ourselves off, we have to go to the deep end. And yeah, it's scary because sometimes we don't know how deep that deep end is, especially if we're in the ocean. I went to Kauai, and when I was in the ocean, they dropped us off of a boat. I grew up in Florida. I had never been in the middle of a stinking ocean. I couldn't touch the bottom. And even when I held my nose and tried to touch the bottom, I couldn't touch the bottom, and it was scary and it was overwhelming, and I freaked out. I literally panicked in the middle of the ocean, which is what they tell you not to do, but I did it. And there was this beautiful, huge sea turtle that was next to me, but I freaked out and I wanted to get back on the boat because I was too scared to be in the water, because I was too scared because I didn't know how deep the water was. Instead of just trusting, instead of just enjoying it, I was too scared. So I let fear keep me from experiencing something beautiful. I let rejection, I was rejecting the situation. I let it keep me from experiencing something beautiful. Now, I just told you a story about me swimming in Kauai, and I just told you a story about a pool, but I want to talk to you about your life. Do you dive in, or do you kind of wait it out? Do you kind of like sit back and watch? You don't want to take that step into that job. You don't want to take that step into that relationship. You don't want to take that step in that friendship because you're scared. You're scared they could hurt you. You're scared they could not be who they say they are. You're scared that maybe you'll give more to the relationship or the friendship than they will. And so you kind of just stay back in the shallow end. You never experience real depth. Maybe your conversations, you have friends, but you never go anywhere deep with them. You never let them in. You're never your full self. I always tell everyone, like, I would rather you be your full self than to pretend you're somebody else. I want to go deep. I want to be in the deep end with my friends. I want to be in the deep end with my relationships. There's a book by Mark Batterson, and it's called All In. And it basically talks about going all in with your relationship with Jesus. A relationship with Jesus is not going to work if you're kind of on the fence, right? You're either hot or cold. You can't be on the fence. You can't be lukewarm because you'll get spit out. Do you want to drink lukewarm coffee? Do you want to drink lukewarm soda? Do you want to drink lukewarm water? No. Why? Because it doesn't taste good. God doesn't want you to be lukewarm in your relationship with Him. Your friends don't want to be lukewarm in their relationship with you. You got to make up your mind. Do you want to be their friend or you're not? Do you want to be in a relationship with them or do you not? Do you want to surrender and submit to God or do you not? The choice is yours. You could stay in the shallow end and you can kind of just go to church sometimes and kind of just sit in the back and never really do anything and never really experience the goodness and the grace of God because you're just kind of there, right? You're maybe checking it off your Sunday to-do list, but you're really not experiencing His love, right? Or maybe you're in that relationship and you're kind of getting to know them, but you're really not letting them see the real you, because if they saw the real you, they might not like it. Or maybe you're scared of rejection, and so you kind of just keep everyone's at an arm's length. The shallow end is okay for keeping your feet cool, but it's not going to give you refreshment. It's not going to give you a happy life. The shallow end is going to hold you back from experiencing depth. I would rather have a conversation that maybe hurts a little bit, that maybe doesn't feel good, if it's a real conversation. I had a friend the other day say, like, you're so fun and you just want to have fun all the time. And I'm like, you're missing it. You're missing half of who I am. Yes, you're focusing on how fun I am, but I'm also very deep. I also have a depth to me. But I'm not just going to let anybody come to the depth. I'm going to gauge if they can handle it. You don't just let a baby go into the deep end. You put some little swimmies on them. Well, sometimes there's people in my life that can't handle the deep end, and I got to give them some swimmies. Or I got to let them sit in the shallow end for a little bit, because they can't handle my depth. And that's okay. Not everybody can. But little by little, teach yourself to handle deeper things. Teach yourself to go to greater depths than you've been before. The shallow end is not going to refresh you. The shallow end isn't going to fulfill you. Surface level. I was telling one of my friends that sat next to me in church today, her name's Edma, and she's one of the most beautiful people that I personally know. She's a great friend of mine. I taught 3 of her children. She only has 3, she has 1 in heaven. But I taught 3 of her children, and greatest kids on earth, literally amazing, amazing kids that are a full representation of their parents and of the love and the care and the dedication that Jonas and Edma have for their kids. But anyway, I always tell her how beautiful she is, because she is. She's stunning. She's a supermodel. And I always tell her how well she dresses, because she does. She just has an eye for fashion. And she's just really, really gifted in that. Her sister is really gifted too. But I always compliment her outfits, and I always compliment how beautiful she is. And then those compliments are good and wonderful, and she is beautiful, and she does dress very well. Her whole family does, because I'm sure she dresses a lot of them. But I was praying, and God just spoke so clearly to my heart and said to my heart, you always compliment her looks. Go deeper. Tell her how beautiful she is, because she is a beautiful woman. And yeah, she has great looks, and yeah, she has great style, but she has a great heart. So often we're so busy focusing on the surface level stuff, the shallow stuff. Oh, you're beautiful. Oh, I like your outfit. Oh, I like your car. Oh, I like your house. And we don't go deep with people. We don't get to know them. I've had the pleasure of going on several conferences with Edma and just hearing her heart and hearing her testimony. She's an interpretive dancer, and just watching her interpret God's love in her life through her dance and her songs. And she's an incredible worship leader and singer, and she's very, very gifted, and she's so full of love and full of life. I love you, Edma, if you're watching this. But even beyond all the things she does and the way she looks, who she is as a person, the way she cares, the way she carries herself, her attention to her friends, her thoughtfulness, her kindness, her compassion goes far beyond any of that other stuff. There's a million people in the world that would say she's beautiful. There's not that many that can understand the depth that is Edma, the beauty that you can only see when you go to the depths of the ocean that is her heart. I know, because I've been blessed with getting to go to the deep spots of her heart and her soul, and knowing who she is as a woman, and who she is as a mom, and who she is as a friend, and who she is as a wife and a daughter. She's an incredible woman. But if I never would have went to the depths of who she is, I would never know that. There are people in your life that are some of the most incredible people in the world, but you only know them on a surface level because you only allow them to get that close to you. You don't have the deep conversations with them. You don't open up your soul to seeing their soul, right? Intimacy. And no, intimacy is not just for relationships. Intimacy doesn't mean sex. It doesn't. It just means an intimate relationship with one another. You can be intimate with your friends. You can share difficult things with your friends. Intimacy. Into me you see. It's sharing your heart and soul with another person. And sometimes when you're married, it's naked and you're doing married people stuff, and it's awesome and wonderful, and God created it for that. And I highly encourage everyone to get a vision for their intimacy and sex and passion, and that's awesome and wonderful. No matter how old you are, you should have a vision for that one day when you get married, when God brings you that person into your life, that you will experience beautiful intimacy. You should have a vision for that. That vision should not start when you're a teenager. Like, you shouldn't start operating in that vision. That vision should be a goal. But you can be intimate with your friends. I have several friends, and I'm not talking sexual intimacy. I'm talking spiritual intimacy. I'm talking mental intimacy. I'm talking relational intimacy. Going through things with each other, understanding life's difficulties and struggles with each other. Have you ever gone scuba diving with a friend? Have you ever gone snorkeling with a friend? You can do that with a friend. You can put on your little scuba mask. You can put on your little snorkel mask, and you can go to the depths with a friend. And guess what? When you're with your friend in the depths, you're going to see things that you wouldn't see if you were in the shore. If you were just sitting, on the beach. You're going to discover things and see things and experience things together in the depths of the sea, in the depths of the ocean, that you're only going to get to see there. Coral and sea life and ocean life and creatures that you wouldn't see on the shore. Sure, you can have friendships that you only sit on the shore with, but you're never going to experience the true wealth that is having a friend that you go to the depths with, having a friend that you go deep with. You're never going to experience the fullness of friendship, the fullness of relationship, if you're too scared to go into the depths, if you're too scared to go into the deep end. I always tell my friends, deep end, go to the deep end. When you are getting close to God, go to the deep end. Go as deep as you possibly can. Go as far as you possibly can. Don't stop. Keep going. Go deeper. Deeper still. Deeper. When you're scuba diving, right, you work up to go deeper and deeper and deeper and farther into the ocean. And the farther you go, the more beautiful things you see. You're able to see more beautiful things the farther you go. That's exciting. Friendship is the same way. The farther you go in friendship, the more beautiful things you'll be able to see. The farther you go in a relationship, the more beautiful things you'll be able to see. So many people allow fear to paralyze them so that they don't go deep in their friendships, so that they have surface level friendships. And then they get mad because when they need somebody, nobody's there. Well, because they were surface level friendships. You can't get mad at somebody for not being there when it was a surface level friendship. And not every friendship is gonna be one that you can go to the depths with. You have to gauge it and realize who's for you and who isn't, who is protecting your heart and who isn't. Some people don't want to protect your heart. Some people do, but some people don't. You have to be aware of that. I have experienced shallow shoreline friendships, and they've been great and they've been wonderful, and I'm grateful for them. But they will never compare to the depths that I've experienced in ocean friendships, and friendships that are all the way down in the depths, where we're looking at caverns and we're looking at shipwrecks. I have friends that I have bared my soul to, and they've bared their soul to me, and we've cried and we've hugged and we've prayed and we've went through hard stuff together. And those relationships are worth more than all the money, than all the gold, than all the treasures in the whole wide world to me. they mean the world to me. Go to the deep end. Don't be shallow in your friendships. Don't be shallow in your relationships. Go to the deep end. Trust others. Open your heart. Allow them to see who you really are. Allow them to see how beautiful your heart is. It's easy to be on the shore. It's easy to be in the shallow end. But go deep. Allow your friends to see who you are. And take the time to see who they are. Take the time to really open up your heart. And let them know that you're a safe place that they can open up their heart to. Don't be shallow. Go deep. Go deep with your compliments. Go deep with your friendships. Go deep with your thoughtfulness. Let's stop living on the shore. Let's start understanding that people were created for more than just complimenting their looks or just complimenting how they dress. Let's compliment who they are. And to compliment who they are, we have to know who they are. We have to spend time with them. So let's do that. Let's get to truly, truly know people inside and out. Let's understand that depth is a beautiful thing. And that the farther you go in the pool, the more refreshed you'll be. The farther you go in the ocean, the more beautiful things you'll see. The farther you go in friendships, the more trust you'll build. It's worth it. Go to the deep end. Go to the deep end with Jesus. Go to the deep end with your friends. Go to the deep end with your relationships. Stop settling for the shore. Stop settling for a one-dimensional view of God's love. Go in the deep end. Hope this encouraged you. You are seen, celebrated, and loved. I love you, but more importantly, God loves you. I will catch you in my next one. Deep end!